We are going to talk about how to change the needle on the FeltLOOM Lexi. First of all, you make sure that the power switch is off so that you don't have the electrical on. And then you need to remove the cover. The FeltLOOM is built for safety. It has a cover with a polycarbonate shield where you can see the needles, but you can't get your hands or fingers into the unit. It's very safe. And underneath the cover, after you take it off, you'll see that there's a lockout switch that's there to keep you from running it without the cover. The cover is very, very important for the safety, and the machine will not operate without it. So you take off all the screws off of the front of it, and then set the cover aside, and then you see the internal parts of the Lexi. Now, to get to the needles, it's very simple to take off these screws. They're made so we can use our thumbs, and they're easy to take out. So you take them all out, and underneath the screws are the needles under this little plate. So there you go. You see the needles, and you can get a little knife or something and loosen it, and then get it, and then pull it out. And then it's easy to see that and to replace another needle, and you have that done. So that's this section, and the other section work the same. Now in the center, you have this plate 2 that is here, and you take this off, and underneath it, you remove this plate, and then you can get to the needles here on the side here, and say, okay, I need to change these needles so they can come up from the side. Now there are 16 needles that are under this piece here, so you need to take this screw out if you need to change any of those. There's 280 needles in this unit, so if you need to change any of these needles, you would loosen this piece here. It screws up, this lifts down, and then you change the needle the same way. You get under it, pry it up, and you pull it out. So that's very easy to do. And now, after you've replaced the needles, then you can go back and connect it back and screw it in, screw it back together so it's in place. It's very easy to do. You need, in order to change these needles under here, you need 3/16 inch Allen wrench that we're using on these screws. So, and these screws do need to be tight. They just don't need to be thumb screwed in. They need to be tightened because they're very critical to the operation of the Lexi unit. So make sure that you get them tight and it's pulled back up. And then after that, then you can replace the plates like we've had them, and tighten the screws and return the cover, and you will get a nice felting action that you've had with all the needles that you have changed. So the screws are very easy to put back in. Put this back, and then put these on. Return that plate to its position. You get them on, back in. You need to tighten them so that they're tight too. And this is the lockout switch that would stop it from working. And we need to, when we put the cover back on, replace it so that it is pushing in on the lockout switch, and then put the screws in place to hold it, and you will have the cover returned. And after all those screws are put back on, all the screws need to be put back on. I mean, there's a fair amount of screws on the cover, and that helps keep the machine straight. So it's important that all the screws are returned to the cover. So after that is done, then you are free to turn the power back on to the unit.